You ever notice how the moment you finally pull back, the moment you stop chasing, the moment you get quiet, something strange happens? She suddenly acts distant, colder, as if you did something wrong, but deep down, you feel it. Something is shifting, and you don't know if she's slipping away or testing how much she still matters to you. Listen closely, because this is the part most men never learn until it's too late. When a woman loves you, she won't always come closer. Sometimes she pulls away. And if you don't understand that psychology, you'll destroy the very connection she was trying to protect. A lot of men think love means consistency, constant affection, and predictable emotional warmth. But women don't love in straight lines, they love in waves. And those waves get bigger the more she feels something real. When a woman begins to fall for you, you activate a part of her brain that is wired for protection of her heart, her self-worth, her emotional safety. And the very moment she realizes you matter, she becomes afraid of losing emotional control around you. So instead of moving closer, she sometimes withdraws, not because she doesn't love you, but because she does. You see, men confuse withdrawal with rejection. Women use withdrawal to measure stability. When she ignores you, she's watching your response. She's observing the electricity inside the silence. She wants to see if your interest collapses the moment she stops feeding it. She's measuring your emotional center. She wants to know if you panic, if you spiral, if you start doubting yourself, or if you maintain your ground like a man whose value doesn't depend on her attention. Because a woman can only love a man she feels safe trusting. And she can only trust a man who doesn't crumble when she's quiet. The truth is, women ignore in two ways. The first is fear. Fear of caring too much, fear of losing herself in you, fear of getting hurt again. The second is instinct. Instinct to test the strength of what you bring to her life. When a woman loves you, she becomes hyper aware of everything you do. She remembers your tone, your responses, your silence. She pays attention to whether your masculinity is stable or reactive. She wants to know if your presence is strong enough to hold her emotional storm. That's why the more she feels for you, the more she suddenly becomes unpredictable because her heart is waking up faster than her logic can calm down. But here's what most men get wrong. They take her distance personally, they chase harder, they send long messages, they demand clarity, they give emotional reassurance she didn't ask for, they think they're fixing the connection, but they're actually proving every fear she had about loving them. Because a man who panics at distance is a man who can't be trusted with closeness. A man who becomes needy when she steps back is a man who wasn't standing firmly on his own legs to begin with. And deep down, she can feel it. When a woman truly loves you, she doesn't want you to chase her when she pulls away. She wants you to stay grounded, confident, self-possessed. She wants to see that her silence doesn't threaten your identity, that her cold moment doesn't freeze your strength, that you don't depend on her emotional performance to feel like a man. When she ignores you, she doesn't need reassurance. She needs stability, not words, but energy. Not promises, but presence. Not pursuit, but patience. But you know what breaks everything? When a man treats her temporary retreat like abandonment, when he thinks love is dying, when it's actually deepening, when he thinks she's losing interest, when she's actually overwhelmed by how much she feels. A woman doesn't ignore a man she's done with. She tells him directly. She disconnects cleanly. She gets quiet, not distant. But when she ignores you while still watching your behavior, that's when you know something more powerful is happening. Her heart is trying to understand yours. So let me ask you right now, when she pulls away, do you stay centered or do you chase? Do you hold your ground or do you collapse? Answer in the comments. And if this message hits something inside you, like subscribe and share this video with a man who needs to hear it. There's a subtle, almost invisible truth about women that most men never see. The more a woman is invested in you, the more she will test you. And this testing often comes disguised as indifference. It's not cruelty. It's not manipulation. It's a measure of your strength. Every glance she withholds, every delayed reply, every moment she seems emotionally elsewhere. It's her way of asking a silent question. Are you solid enough to handle me? Can you survive my absence and still thrive? If you misread this as rejection, you hand her the answer she fears, that you're dependent, insecure, and easily shaken. Think about it. From the very beginning, when attraction sparks, a woman's mind is constantly running calculations. She's assessing not just who you are, but what you are to her. And when emotions become intense, her natural instinct is to protect herself. She doesn't want to lose you, but she also doesn't want to lose herself. So she withdraws, she tests, she ignores. And the truth is, she's watching everything. Not your words, but your energy. How do you react to her silence? How do you respond when she seems unavailable? This is the battlefield where real love is proven. A man who understands this becomes untouchable. He doesn't chase, he doesn't plead, he doesn't overanalyze. He observes, he holds his ground, he keeps his life full, his mind calm, his confidence unwavering, because he knows the difference between a woman who is pulling away and a woman who is leaving. And he knows that if she truly loves him, her temporary absence isn't a threat. It's an invitation for him to prove his emotional gravity, to show that his value is not dependent on her attention, but on the strength he already carries within himself. Here's the harsh truth that most men never accept. Love isn't about constant affection or validation. It's about alignment. It's about balance. It's about a quiet understanding that real attraction doesn't require continuous reassurance. When a woman ignores you, she's not punishing you. She's simply allowing herself to measure if your energy matches hers. And the men who fail this test, they crumble. They text, they worry, they over-explain, they prove unintentionally that their identity is fragile, that their confidence is conditional, and that their sense of worth depends on a woman's approval. That is the exact opposite of what she wants. Because what a woman truly wants is safety, emotional safety, mental stability. A man who doesn't panic when she's quiet is a man she can fall for hard. A man who doesn't collapse when she ignores her texts is a man she can trust with her heart. Every act of apparent disinterest is in reality a mirror reflecting your strength back at you. If you flinch, you show weakness. If you chase, you signal insecurity. But if you remain calm, composed, and fully immersed in your own life, you reveal an unspoken truth that you are not here to be controlled, not here to be constantly validated, not here to be measured by fleeting attention. You are here because you are a man of value and your worth is inherent. This is why understanding female psychology is crucial. Men are trained to respond to pursuit with pursuit, to react to distance with desperation. But the strongest men do the opposite. They remain anchored. They honor her space. They respect her process. They trust that if love is genuine, her attention will return. Not because they chased it back, but because she feels safe enough to come closer. And the most powerful aspect of this dynamic, she begins to notice. She begins to feel desire deepen. She begins to experience that magnetic pull that makes her heart race when she realizes that the man she loves is unshakable, untouchable, and independent. So ask yourself right now, when she ignores you, do you crumble or do you rise? Do you allow her silence to dictate your mood, or do you hold your power quietly, confidently, knowing that love doesn't die in absence? It grows in the space where strength meets vulnerability. Think deeply about that and write your answer in the comments. If this insight hit home, subscribe and share this video with a man who needs to see this truth about love, psychology, and female desire. There's a secret women don't openly admit, but every man can observe if he's paying attention. When she loves you, she tests your absence, your silence, your boundaries. She doesn't want to trap you, control you, or punish you. She wants to see if you're a man who can exist fully in your own power while still holding space for her. This is the paradox that confuses most men. Love is measured not by constant presence, but by how you handle her distance. Her ignoring you is not the problem. It's the signal. It's the message your ego isn't ready to understand. You see, most men interpret attention as affection and absence as rejection. That's a trap. Because a woman's mind doesn't work in absolutes. She doesn't love in linear paths, and she doesn't test your love by creating drama or direct conflict. She tests it by withdrawing, by creating a gap, by forcing you to either fold under insecurity or rise into confidence. That space you feel, the tension, the uncertainty, the unease, it's not punishment. It's a mirror. It reflects your true emotional state, and she notices everything. The way your energy changes, your tone, your level of control. Every reaction is data. Every emotional response is proof of your stability or fragility. Here's the key. Men fail to see. She isn't ignoring you because she doesn't care. She's doing it because she cares too much, too deeply sometimes for her own comfort. She's weighing the intensity of her emotions against her fears of being hurt. She's asking herself silently, can I trust him with my heart? Will he handle me when I'm not predictable? Will he crumble if I step back? And the men who panic, who chase, who beg for clarity, they fail. But the men who remain grounded, confident, and self-assured, they pass. They become unshakable. They become magnetic. Think about it. Attraction isn't created by chasing. Desire isn't built through overexposure. A woman's mind works differently. She feels tension, mystery, challenge, and stability at the same time. When she loves you, ignoring you isn't cold. It's a way to see if your internal foundation is strong enough to handle intimacy without needing constant reassurance. She's testing whether your emotional gravity aligns with hers, whether your value is dependent on her attention, or if it exists independently. And this test isn't forever. It's only until she's confident in your stability, your self-possession, your power. But most men fail because they interpret testing as rejection, distance as a threat, and silence as failure. That's exactly what she doesn't want you to do. She wants a man who reacts with calm, who doesn't spiral, who doesn't beg, who doesn't over-explain. A man who knows that love is not possession, that attention is not the measure of worth, and that desire deepens in space, not in constant closeness. When she ignores you, she's not playing games. She's revealing the unspoken truth about her feelings and watching if your energy can match the magnitude of what she's feeling inside. Now imagine this. A woman who adores you. A woman whose heart is racing for you, but is also cautious. She steps back, testing the boundaries, measuring the intensity of your self-control. And instead of panicking, you continue to live fully, pursue your goals, and maintain your confidence. You don't text constantly. You don't beg for her validation. You stay calm, you stay strong, you stay present in your own life. Suddenly, she notices. She feels it. The tension flips. The pull intensifies. The love that she tested begins to deepen because she sees a man whose value doesn't depend on her approval. A man whose presence she can finally trust. A man who is unshakable in the face of her emotions. So here's the question every man must answer when she ignores you. Do you fold into insecurity, or do you rise into your power? Do you allow her space to reveal her true feelings, or do you chase illusions of control? Because if you can stay grounded, confident, and fully alive in your own energy, the love she feels for you grows exponentially. The silence becomes your ally, the distance becomes your proof, and the magnetic connection becomes undeniable. Think about that right now. Type your answer in the comments. And if this resonates, subscribe, and share this video with a man who's ready to understand the psychology behind her love, her distance, and the power of holding his ground. Here's the part most men never grasp. A woman's love is rarely expressed in words or constant attention. It's expressed in subtle signals, in the tension of absence, in the pull that makes her suddenly distant and then irresistibly magnetic. When she ignores you, it's not because she doesn't care, it's because she's feeling too much. She's trying to balance the intensity of her emotions with the fear of vulnerability, and if you misread it, you destroy the very connection she's trying to protect. This is the critical moment where most men fail. They confuse love with control, attachment with possession, attention with validation. Think about it. Women have a radar for stability. They can sense instantly when a man's sense of self is tethered to her responses. And when she pulls away, she's not punishing you. She's observing. She's measuring whether your identity is strong enough to withstand uncertainty, whether your energy is constant, even when her attention is not. The stronger your presence, the more magnetic you become. The more you chase, the faster you destroy the attraction she's building internally. Every text you send, every call you make, every attempt to explain yourself reinforces the fear she has about giving her heart. Because she doesn't just want love, she wants safety. The paradox is this. Her distance increases desire. Her absence makes her presence more meaningful. And the men who understand this harness a power most men never realize exists. They don't react emotionally to withdrawal. They stay centered. They maintain their lifestyle, their confidence, their independence. They continue to grow, to achieve, to live fully. And what happens? She starts noticing. She feels the pull. She begins to crave the very man who remained unmoved by her temporary retreat. She experiences the magnetic tension that makes her desire stronger than it ever could through constant attention. But there's a deeper layer here. When a woman ignores you while loving you, she is testing your capacity for emotional sovereignty. She wants to know if you can be trusted with intimacy, if your self-worth is intrinsic, if your value is unshakable. She wants to see if you can hold your center while she navigates her own emotional complexity. She's asking silently, can I let down my walls? Can I trust him with the chaos of my feelings? Will he stay solid when I'm unpredictable? And the answers to these questions are not found in words. They are found in energy, presence, and the unshakable strength of a man who does not rely on her reactions to define himself. Here's what most men miss entirely. She is not ignoring you to play games. She is showing you how much she cares by testing the foundation of your masculinity. She wants to see if you are the kind of man who can handle real love without fear. Real love is messy, unpredictable, and sometimes silent. And the men who succeed are the ones who can hold themselves in the silence, who can let the tension exist without collapsing, who can remain fully alive even when attention is withdrawn. These are the men who become unforgettable. These are the men she wants to choose. So when you feel that pang of unease, that moment where her distance seems like rejection, remember this: her silence is your opportunity. It is your mirror. It is the proving ground for your inner strength. Do you shrink or do you rise? Do you cling or do you expand? Do you let your value depend on her presence or do you anchor it in yourself? The truth is, the man who can answer these questions with quiet confidence will never be ignored. Not because women always give attention, but because women instinctively gravitate toward the man who can exist fully, independently, and unwaveringly in the face of emotional complexity. Now, I want you to reflect. When she pulls away, what is your first instinct? Do you panic or do you hold your ground? Type your answer in the comments. If this message resonates, like, subscribe, and share this video with a friend who needs to understand the hidden psychology of female love, distance, and desire. This is the moment where most men fail to see what's right in front of them. When she ignores you, when she pulls back, when she tests your patience, it's not rejection, it's revelation. It's her heart opening in a way she cannot express with words, a way that only the strongest, most grounded man can recognize. Every moment she steps away is a moment she's measuring your stability, your confidence, your self-possession. And the truth most men never accept is this: her love is proving itself in the space between, not in constant closeness. The silence, the absence, the distance, they are all mirrors. Mirrors reflecting not her feelings, but yours. How do you respond when she steps back? Do you crumble into fear, into neediness, into overcompensation? Or do you rise into calm, into self-respect, into the energy of a man who doesn't need validation to know his worth? The men who fail this test mistake her love for indifference, and their panic only confirms the fears she never voiced. That emotional stability, strength, and confidence are not yet fully yours. But the men who pass this test, the men who remain steady, confident, and fully themselves, become magnetic beyond explanation. Here's what happens when you get it right. She starts to chase, not because you pushed her, not because you manipulated her, but because your absence shows her the power of your presence. She feels the gravity of a man who is emotionally sovereign. She experiences desire that grows in intensity because she senses a man whose energy is untouchable, independent, and consistent. And the irony is that the more she tries to pull away, the closer she feels drawn, because she knows instinctively that the man she is drawn to is not defined by her attention, but by the unshakable confidence he carries within himself. Think about the psychology behind this. A woman who loves you will create tension not to hurt you, but to test the depth of your masculinity. She wants to know if you can hold yourself steady in the storm of her emotions. She wants to know if your value is intrinsic or conditional. She wants to know if she can trust you with the chaos of her heart. And every reaction you have, every flare of panic, every desperate message, every attempt to pull her back teaches her exactly what she needs to know. whether you are the man who can truly hold her heart or whether your love is weak, dependent, and easily shaken. But here's the transformative truth. When you understand this, you step into a new kind of power. A power that doesn't beg for attention, a power that doesn't react to absence with desperation, a power that allows love to exist fully, deeply, and without neediness. The man who can remain fully grounded while she tests him becomes the man she cannot resist. The man who can thrive while her emotions fluctuate becomes the man she feels safest with. The man who understands female psychology at its core becomes the man who transforms her desire into lasting devotion. So here's your challenge. The next time she ignores you, the next time she pulls back, resist the instinct to chase. Hold your energy steady. Maintain your life, your confidence, your independence. Let her see that your worth is inherent, that your stability is unshakable, that your attraction is unbreakable. And in that space, strange as it may feel, the pull becomes undeniable, desire becomes magnetic, and her love, tested and proven, grows stronger than ever before. Now, I want you to answer this honestly. If she ignores you for 3 days and you maintain your calm, your confidence, and your independence, what do you think she feels about you and why? Write your answer in the comments. Subscribe and share this video with a friend who needs to understand the hidden psychology of female love, the power of silence, and the magnetic strength of a man who knows his own verse.